Hi everyone! Time for a book review of, where is it? Fuck. Initiation by Alex Duval, book 4 of the Vampire Beach Quartet. Alright, so this was never, I don't think was ever my favorite of the book, of the series. This book was, Jason's friend coming, when an old friend pays him a visit, they have no idea that they're about to put themselves in mortal danger. Literally. Yes, so his friend, Jason's friend Tyler, comes for a visit. But he's acting really, really abnormal, acting really strange, and like very twitchy. And I never liked Tyler just because of the way, like, I never liked him as a character, and as I said, this was never like my favorite book of the series. And reading it again for the second time after so long, I feel it just feels like a filler. It's not like, it doesn't feel like it fully continues the story. It's sort of, it just to me, but it does introduce another character. Yeah, so we get a new character in here, which I'm not going to tell you, but it's an interesting character, and that character continues with the other two books, and they provide a prominent thing, I can't really say other than that, to the story. Whereas the Tyler situation, it may have given a situation to introduce said character, but the whole plot of this story was just, I almost felt like it could have been like, a short story or like a side story that happened that, like could have happened. This could have been a strict trilogy, but the initiation and the title of the book doesn't really make sense. Bloodlust, the first book, made sense because that's what happens to a vampire when they just gorge themselves on blood and just don't stop. And well, bloodlust means they kind of physically can't stop and they continually just drain until the person is dead. That makes sense, the title. But initiation didn't really make sense for this book because it's not really, they're not initiating anyone, really. Like, anyone, like, we didn't see any, like, initiation thing going on and all that such, so it's still a decent story. Like, the story itself is quite well, and the writing hasn't changed. The writing doesn't change at all throughout the 4 books, but the story itself is an interesting one. It's not my favorite, and I wasn't a fond of the situation, but it's not bad. And as I was saying earlier, it feels like if Alex Duval did a trilogy, but he touched upon stuff like in the book Initiation, and then people were like, hey, we want the full story of like this thing that happened, you're not fully telling us, we want to know like everything. That's what I feel like this book Initiation is, and I wish he had used a different title, but sadly, because like there's no, like, I don't even know like who the initiation is for, what the purpose is, like that doesn't fully make sense. So I think you don't have to read Initiation, but you can if you want to. And as I said, this was a pretty decent book, and though I don't wholly recommend it, I recommend it in like a sense of like, you find out, you get a little more deeper into Jason himself, because this is technically, Tyler is Jason's best friend, and he comes from a place where he used to live and all that such. So just as part of the actual storyline itself, it doesn't give much except for introducing one character that is prevalent throughout the other 2 books. Yeah. Other than that, and like just delving a little deeper into Jason himself, the character, yeah, it's just a meh sort of story for me. But at least I am finally finished this. I don't have to like as I said, I don't mind bind up books, but for review purposes and video purposes like this, it's a little annoying because you don't have like the actual cover, like individual cover where you can just be holding the, like, I couldn't hold up the individual book for Initiation and or Bloodlust because they have their own really cool covers themselves, the individual books, but I will be able to show them to you with book number 3 in the series, which I'm going to start reading very soon, like right now. So, this is book 3, Ritual. Vampire Beach, Ritual by Alex Duval. Bitings out, killings in. Now, as you can see, this is the individual book, and like this is how this cover is. Here are the first 2 book covers. So this is Bloodlust, and that's Initiation. And as you see, they're very like, these are very cool covers. They're very interesting. They're very, I like the covers. They're very cool. And this is how like the titling, like, see. This does have a very Malibu vibe. Those words should not be put together because they blend too well together. But yeah, as I said, this has a very Malibu vibe, but you don't get much vampire there. But like this, these have a little bit more of like the vampire feel, and as well as these, yeah. I find they have a better like mix of like the beach vampire vibe. So anyway, I'm gonna get you in the back. The A-list bites. Jason Freeman has gotten used to the fact that beneath its glamorous surface, DeVere Heights is full of unexpected secrets and vampires. Then just when he thinks he's golden, he's attacked with a crossbow. My. I haven't read these in like forever, since I think I was in high school or like just gotten out of high school, because that's when I really started like reading. I'd always read, but just the stuff that I had been given. I'd never really, I don't think again, this is attempting to pull memories out of my brain, which never really works myself when I'm trying to do it myself. But anyway, I feel like that's definitely when I first started. Like, I got this awesome adult romance book borrowed from my school library, my high school library. It was the best thing ever. I loved it. It was called Dreamstone, and I can't remember the author, but like this woman has this stone, and she'd be in like present day, like roughly like somewhere between like the 80s and 2000. So like 1980 to like 2000, like somewhere between those two decades, yes. The 80s and the 90s, somewhere between there. I feel like it's set in present day, and then this stone would take her back in time to like this medieval type of time, and like she fell in love with this guy there, and then like she'd be brought back to present day and be like, no, and like there was a time difference, like she went, and then she'd go back another time to medieval time, and it had been like a few days or weeks or something. Like the time from like her first visit to her second visit in the medieval time had been a while, and I loved it. It was amazing, and I was gonna buy it, but then it wasn't there for me to buy it when they were doing some like selling off some books. Yeah. And like it just progressed from there. As I showed you with Witch Season, I showed you I got both of them. Well, I bought both of them, and they're down in where the author is. So yeah, it's been a while since I read these. At first, the attention Jason gets from his crush, Sienna, makes the wound almost worthwhile, especially after she breaks up with Brad. But the crossbow-wielding lunatic isn't finished, and his next victim is found dead with a bolt through the heart. As tensions rise at DeVere High, suspicions about the attacker point to pretty much anyone. There's something cold and hard in Brad's eyes. The look of a killer? Nah. So yeah, that's that one. Oh, and like, see here, most times when you get individual ones, you get a little teaser. A time of great danger. And yes, it's a home day, it's a shower day, so I've got no makeup on, okay? And my hair, I'm just bleh, okay? The sun was an orange-red ball in a crimson sky that was deepening to purple. Excessive. Jason veered towards his beach towel as a cool wind suddenly blew across the beach, making the hairs on his arm stand up. He shivered, feeling cold in the evening air. Beware the cold, a little voice whispered in his head. Jason ignored it. A cold wind in December was hardly something to worry about. He reached his beach towel and noted that his wetsuit was completely dry. He could just stuff it in his backpack. He leaned down to grab the pack. Thunk. Jason felt something cold and hard slam into his body. The impact forced him to stagger backward. Red dots, like a dozen tiny setting suns, filled his vision for a moment. He blinked and looked down to see this thin metal bar sticking out of his chest. His stomach slowly turned over. Metal in his body. Oh my, yeah. This is a little, like, this definitely feels like, I don't know, but like this is amping up the tension there. We've got 18 chapters here, and yeah, this is going to be the end of the book review. So if you enjoyed my meh book review, because this was a meh book, like, as part of the series, and that's all really. If you liked it, hit that like button down below, and you can leave comments down below if you have read Vampire Beach series, because I'd like to know who has read these books, because I do like them, and I think they should be read more by teens, because it's a good teen book. It's enjoyable, and like, it's, yeah, like, that first person point of view is an interesting read, and I think it would be it's really cool. So yeah, you can leave in comments any comments below. Just don't be negative and don't be nasty, because we don't need any of that in the world, okay? And if this is the first time you're watching my video, please, excuse me, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, something's coming, a bubble wrap manila envelope, or a plastic bag wrap thingy, vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos that I have no idea what to categorize. Alright, so I'm gonna continue folding and then putting away my laundry, continuing watching Sailor Moon R Season 2, and reading this. And when I'm done with my laundry, I'm gonna put this away. Yeah. And I get to mark it off my checklist because I have read it and completed it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.